Bitcoin and Ethereum have been seeing a massive pump towards the upside this week. I kinda already have a next plan ready, and I know that you guys are wondering what's next. So in today's video, I will be providing you guys with my updates on both Bitcoin, but also on Ethereum. Exactly as stated, since Bitcoin over here was holding this low, it expanded towards higher targets. This is what we so often see, right? In which an impulse towards the upside is being followed up by a slow grind towards the upside, and that slow grind towards the upside is being followed by another very aggressive impulse towards the upside once again. Now, these impulses, they often start mitigating important liquidity pools, and we can see that above this high right over here is where we have major liquidity resting for Bitcoin, and also above the high right over here we have some more liquidity resting for Bitcoin as well. So what I'm expecting for Bitcoin is to start trading towards higher targets for the remainder of the week. Also, Brighter Data's weekly timing and distance statistics are showcasing the exact same. When we navigate towards the bottom right of this page, we can see that the summary is showcasing only a 7.7% probability to take out a weekly low, and there's a 73.1% probability to form a new weekly high, aka new weekly P2, after Thursday 4 o'clock in the morning, where we currently have put in the weekly high, a 73% probability. The weekly distance statistics are also showcasing an 81.5% probability to see a bigger move compared to the current 6.5% move that Bitcoin has seen so far this week. So that means that there's around an 80% probability to see a bigger move compared to the current move that we have seen so far, but also an 80% probability to form new weekly P2s after Thursday 4 o'clock in the morning, aka a very high probability that the weekly low is gonna hold, and a very high probability of around 80% that we're gonna form new weekly highs on Bitcoin, which would mean that Bitcoin is gonna take out the buy side liquidity. Now, that is some information that we can execute on. So now that we have determined that Bitcoin is likely going to trade towards new highs, I move towards a 10-minute time frame, and I'm going to explain to you guys what kind of execution I'm looking at. I'm looking at the execution in between hour 12 UTC time, aka the hour that starts over here, and hour 14 UTC time. So this time period over here is where I'm always looking to execute my trades for my intraday scalping trades on Bitcoin, which would mean that I'm waiting for Bitcoin to get a push into this area of interest, this timing area of interest. Once we enter this area, I'm looking for Bitcoin to give me a break of structure back towards the upside within this timing area. And then I'm also looking for Bitcoin to form a new session high after hour 15 has started. So that is very important. This local sweep, this new session high after hour 15 UTC time has started, to me is a trigger to start looking for longs. If this happens, I'm looking for a bit of a local sweep over here. Then I will look to long Bitcoin once again with my invalidation beneath that session low, and then I'll be targeting this buy side liquidity over here at the top for an RR of approximately 2. Now this can also happen after a sweep of this high over here. I want both buy side liquidity targets to get taken out this week on Bitcoin, because I'm expecting a push towards $100,000, which is obviously also a major psychological target. So either first a sweep of the high, then I'm still awaiting the confirmations inside of the timing area during the New York session, or we get a bit of a pullback first on Bitcoin, and then we await the same type of confirmations. Once again, this local sweep is important. Then I'll be looking for longs to target the buy side liquidity on the price of Bitcoin. Before I forget to tell you guys, over the past few weeks we obviously have been killing it, and many people have been wondering where I have been sharing my exact trade signals. And I'm not only sharing my trade signals here, I'm also sharing my education here, and it's now completely free. Completely free access for 14 days to what I think is the best and most authentic trading community in the space, Tribe Capital. The first link in the description down below is all that you need to click on to gain 14 days of completely free access to our premium section. When I shared this Ethereum swing long setup with you guys a few weeks ago, people were saying that I was fucking crazy. But this setup is now a very nice profit, so I'm actually looking to add more long positions for the remainder of this week on Ethereum. Because when we look at the weekly distance statistics on Ethereum, we can see that there's only a 13.7% probability at the bottom right that the weekly low is gonna get taken out. aka there's around 86.3% probability that the weekly low is gonna hold on Ethereum. Also, weekly distance statistics on ETH are showing a 74.5% probability that the P2 is gonna get taken out. aka about a 74.5% probability that we're gonna see a bigger move compared to the current move that we have seen so far, which is 9.4%. The weekly timing statistics on Ethereum are even better. There's only a 2.9% probability based off the timing where we put in the low of the week that the low of the week is gonna get taken out. aka there's around a 97% probability that the weekly low on Ethereum is gonna hold for the remainder of the week, which means that it's a very clean invalidation for longs. Also, there's a 74% probability that we are going to form fresh weekly P2s on Ethereum after Thursday 4 AM in the morning, which is where Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, for now put in its weekly P2, which in this case is the weekly high on Ethereum. So that means that also Ethereum's weekly distance and timing statistics are in favor for a bigger move towards the upside, while the low of the week should be holding. Now we can obviously use this for potential executions today or tomorrow on Friday. Now on Ethereum we can see something extremely interesting. We still haven't filled this wick over here that occurred during the tariff news event, where Ethereum was sweeping this high over here, put in a massive wick towards the upside on the 4-hourly time frame, and then expanded towards lower targets. We know that these wicks, they always get filled for 50%, which I've marked out with a white line, or for 100%, which I've marked out with the orange line. So I'm expecting Ethereum to get a push towards a draw on liquidity. Also for Ethereum, just like for Bitcoin, I marked out a timing period in between our 12 and 14 UTC time, and I'm waiting for the same confirmations. I'm waiting for Ethereum to get a push into this timing period, followed by a break of structure back towards the upside, followed by a fresh session high after hour 15 has started. Now, if that happens on Ethereum, I'll be looking to execute longs over here with my invalidation over here, targeting the buy sell liquidity on Ethereum, and it offers a beautiful RR. I wouldn't mind a pullback a bit deeper first as well, or I wouldn't mind a bit of a sweep of this high first as well. I'm just awaiting the confirmations within the timing period in between hour 12 and hour 15 UTC time, and I'm not going to be able to execute any trades on Ethereum if we don't make a fresh session high after hour 15 has started. So I can only execute trades as per my system after hour 15 UTC time has started. So it will be very interesting to see today, but also tomorrow, if both Bitcoin and Ethereum are once again going to give us very clean triggers for new trading ideas. But before you guys leave, I want to ask you guys for a quick little favor. I would honestly love it if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, and then I'll catch you guys on the next one. Ciao, ciao!